more, guys. It's Paradigm Shift here, and here we'll be talking about the newly released profession, the Mesmer. The Mesmer. Guys, what do you think of the Mesmer? Give your opinion.
Alright guys, it's Ira here, and I actually think it's a pretty okay-ish, class. It's a bit like a mage and a rogue in my opinion. It looks slightly overpowered, like with the mind control shit. I mean, I'm not really a fan of all that. I mean, it looks like they've got too many tools for PvP, but I don't know. See what the other guys think. What do you think, Attila?
Well, as far as I see it, if we were to draw a triangle of damage, control, and support, the Mesmer would be right at the tip of the control end. So I'm guessing that all this crowd control effects and all these mitigation and avoidance is going to come off somehow in the damage output of the class.
Yeah, I think.
Are you sure it's as much control as you think so? Because like, yeah, they got a lot of control, but it's mainly about tricking the opponent. It's like thinking that things are there which aren't there. For the clones example, like, and exploring the clones, they can do bursts that way, and the same with the mantras. But
Yeah,
is
it's
it
a bit
really
like-
as much control?
It's a bit like the Necromancer, like they have options to do both, either like delay the opponent and keep them off guard, or just do insane burst by using up their illusions and shattering them on the spot.
I don't
So-
know, dude. Yeah,
I think it's more of avoidance instead of direct control. They don't really have a lot of stun, not blackout, not daze. They just confuse you. They delay DPS by putting up illusions, by what else did they have?
Yeah, they make opponents waste their most powerful moves on illusions that just disappear.
Oh yeah, look at some of the stuff here, like they're shattering, what they can do with their illusions. They're like mind whack, destroy your illusion, cry of frustration, destroys your illusions and gives the confused condition to your opponent. So like, and there's another one that stuns nearby foes. I mean, I actually think they're going to be quite overpowered in like a rated play, like 5v5, because you think about it, you go to a base to try cap that base, and you've got like 3 illusions in your way. Do you know what I mean? They're going to be able to...
What you're saying is that Mesmers will be good for defending, but what about like a roaming Mesmer? Would they not be easy to kill? Because a Mesmer needs a target to put the illusions onto them, then those illusions will stick to that target. So like if a thief, for example, would find a Mesmer just strolling, just recently raised, and was running to a bit capture point, would that thief not be able to easily kill the Mesmer through a headshot before the Mesmer even realised, by disabling the skills quickly?
Well, yeah, probably, because it's a thief, do you know what I mean? But I think in general they're going to crap on things like guardians and warriors and stuff like that, just because if you watch the video, which I watched the video, they've got loads of stuff that slows you and like keeps you in place, which I think they're going to be quite strong against melee oriented classes. I mean, and they're going to be strong against actually casters. I mean, the mind control just looks sick, really, and the just some of these things like the mantras, Mesmer activates the first mantra, which has a long cast time, but it's a skill slot, I don't know, it just looks sick, mate, really.
Yeah, the mantras are, I think, going to be the Mesmer's main tools to delay the opponent enough to set up their abilities, because I'm guessing the illusionary clones that the Mesmer makes of itself are going to have a fairly short cooldown, so you can put a lot of them out, and they're kind of spammable because the first one will be always overwritten by the newest. And like there's what Gavin mentioned, whenever they're out in the open and they don't have any of their illusions out, that's when they're the most vulnerable, when they're moving from one place to another and they're not in a fight. So like the mantras have this long cast time, but they charge up and store that instant cast powered spell, which they can store indefinitely, I think. And like using that, I'm guessing that it's going to be on a fairly long cooldown. They might buy enough time to get all their tools on the field and get to work.
But what happens if you get 5 Mesmers in a rated game, or 3? 3 Mesmers, 2 Guardians. Can you imagine that? Like, 3 times is
Death
3?
on legs.
Yeah.
I think that's too defensive.
Yeah, because they don't provide that much damage, it's mainly the trickery. So having loads of Mesmers would not be a good idea. And one more thing, the condition came out this time. What do you guys think of the condition? Because like the more you cast spells, the more you will get hurt. So, do you think that professions would have to wait until the condition timer ticks off, or they'll convert it to a boon through some sort of utility skill?
What do you mean?
If there's enough stacks on someone, I think yes, you have to wait or remove it somehow.
But then again, that's what Mesmers used to do in Guild Wars 2. Like, you would... Guild Wars 1, sorry. So, I'm guessing that maybe they could, like, keep an opponent busy that is low enough health that they know that they have enough stacks to die if they try to help their allies, and they just would just keep on refreshing those stacks.
It's just, he likes to delay everything. He likes to delay the DPS. He likes to delay capturing. He likes to delay people from moving from one point to another.
Like a Frost Mage.
It's very defensive for me.
Like Frost Mage without the Ice Lance that hits 100 million damage.
Now that the one thing that concerns me about this primarily is Guild Wars 2 wants to build a very dynamic movement-oriented combat system, and if everything is going to be delayed and slowed by just this one class, will that affect the enjoyment of the combat?
Well, you need to remember that each spell will have a cooldown, and most of the professions can remove conditions and convert them to boons themselves. So the second they remove that condition, the Mesmer will have to wait until it's ready again. But also, the Mesmer has like certain abilities which help excel the Mesmer at surviving, like the Reflection, where they can destroy their illusion to place a barrier around themselves, which reflects enemy projectiles. Do you not think, how do you think other classes like the Elementalist would react to that? Because if it reflects it back, what would the Elementalist do? Would they stop, try to get good positioning, or scout around, and then while going back?
They'll probably just go Water Shield and just troll them with heals. They'll probably just go Water Shield, or Water Attunement, sorry. You know, hit them, get a bit of healing done, then just go back to Frost or Fire. I mean, I thought Mesmer was going to be like the Mage style, but it looks like Elementalist is going to be it. But I just don't know where Mesmer fits into the game, to be fair.
So basically, what you're saying is that by popping the Reflection, and depending on how long it lasts for, that will put the Elementalist in an instant state of defensiveness. Because if they're going to switch to the Water Attunement, then they've gone defensive instantly.
Well, yeah, they're not going to be able to obviously turret damage into someone who's going to reflect the spells, obviously, because they just end up killing themselves. But you know, it
That's
depends.
exactly what I said. Just delay players, delay a team, solo delay multiple other players. It's probably his best tool.
Are they tanky? Or were they tanky in Guild Wars 1?
No, they weren't.
They were most focused and most hated and fairly fragile.
Oh, then that's no problem. Then they can. The thing is, if they're going to be squishy, then how are they going to delay a load of people? Like, I don't know.
Through
Using their
clones,
skills correctly. Yeah.
Yes. Like, they need to stay close enough to the combat to be useful, but far enough not to be in harm's way if something goes wrong. Like, the main tool that they would be using to stay alive, I think, would be all those illusions of themselves that they make with all their skills. Like, I'm guessing that at least 40% of their skills would spawn an illusion of them in some way as an added effect.
Well, there are two types of illusions, though. You have the clones and you have the phantasms. And those clones are exact copies of the Mesmer. They react, they have basic AI. And phantasms, on the other hand, have special abilities and are really offensive.
Do you know? Fair enough, fair enough. Do you know what I do like about him, actually? What the weapon? I saw the video, you know, and like he started shooting guns with like purple rainbows coming out of them. Nah, I'm joking, but like, no, it was like a laser, man. It was like some Star Wars shit, man. Like the geezer was just like shooting.
Actually, the unload ability that assassins have, but your phantasms get that skill, or some of the phantasms.
Yeah, the phantasms do. The ones spawning with pistols.
But that's the thing, like, you know that a Mesmer doesn't have that skill, so when you see two illusions shoot off laser beams, then you know that's not the real one.
Pew pew laser beams.
Do you say that a phantasm will be the Mesmer's main way of damage? For example, say like if you went for the staff and you summon the illusionary mage, and then you was teamed up with like you had a group fight with like an engineer who was like condition building on the enemy. Wouldn't that phantasm do extreme damage in that condition, as they deal extra damage for each afflicted condition?
I think that in that case, like your phantasm would be the damage dealer and you would be the debuffer.
The thing about that though, it sounds pretty sad because no one wants that sort of playstyle. I think. I mean, look at Demonology Lux. If you're going like that way, that they're going to be the damage, then they're basically kind of like Demonology Lux in the way that they're just supporting their pet, and that kind of sucks to be fair because I don't think anyone wants to play like that, don't they? I don't know. Would you want your pet to do damage?
They're not supporting their minion directly. They're just making its attack stronger.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, it's like they can let the pet do damage while they can focus on other things like tricking them, reflecting projectiles, stunning people, while they can keep up some consistent damage throughout the phantasms.
Yeah, fair enough. All this talk about phantasms got me thirsty.
I think you can build with your Mesmer to deal a lot of DPS, but then you sacrifice that with not having as much like clones or as much that AoE stealth thing that they had. Or the portal, which is one of the best skills so far.
Yeah, that looks
I've
OP.
What does it do? Exactly.
OP. Teleports from one portal to another.
Yeah.
Basically, he places like a field on the ground, AoE, and then he places another one somewhere else, which he can place it within the radar range, which is actually far enough to place it at 2 capture points in structured PvP. And basically, when he walks through one, he comes out in the other, and it works on allies as well. So
That's
you can
really-
teleport your whole team from capture point to another.
That's
Yeah,
broken.
with that,
That's broken.
Mesmer himself would need like protection, like going to put those down, because they need to like go physically put them down. But that would eliminate the Mesmer's weakness. So like if they just rest, they can put the point on one place, then go with the allies like the clock tower, and they can put one there as well. And if one gets assaulted, they can instantly teleport back without having to run round and possibly getting ganked by like an elementalist, ranger, or thief.
Yeah, Rangers look like they're going to counter him though. Rangers do look like they're going to counter Mesmer, to be fair.
Also, talking about weapons, I was actually kind of surprised about the weapons available to the Mesmer. Like, stuff like the staff, focus seemed obvious, but mace, dual swords, pistols,
Yeah.
and the great
Two-hand
sword.
sword.
Yeah.
First, I don't see a mace.
There is no miss.
No, what surprised me is they have offhand pistol, but they don't have a main hand pistol.
Oh, that's a bit awkward. What? Well, the greatsword, lol. What are they going to do with that? Is it going to be like a paladin mage thing?
As far as I've seen it, like they wield the great sword in a way that it's kind of like a focus for their power. So they actually gain sort of long-range single-target abilities from it. Like there's one ability that deals damage to a target depending on how far they are from you. Like the further they are, the greater the damage.
Oh, fair enough.
That sounds really nice.
So it's kind of like this focusing laser. Really awesome.
Laser beams, blood, laser beams. Okay.
So what kind of professions do you think the Mesmer will be strong against and excel at? What kind of things would it be good at, like group play, for example?
It'll be
Roll in a
every. It'll be so good in groups. Like it'll rape melee professions, but probably die to range.
I'm not really sure because most melee professions have ways to get to close distance quickly, and most of those weapon sets also have AoE, so you can very easily knock out all the illusions in one skill.
Right, but the Mesmer can put like the one shield on him where it like reflects the skill or whatever.
Yeah, ranged
Yeah,
projectiles.
Projectiles, so that
Okay, I see.
Exactly like the Guardian. Like it needs to shatter the illusions to get that shield, however, and it only gives it to the Mesmer itself.
But they still have an AoE stun, and that is strong because it's an AoE stun,
Yep.
not just a single
but
target.
it's again reliant on your illusion.
Yeah.
And since
course.
somewhere I read already that illusions basically only survive 1 or 2 hits,
What?
I really doubt.
Well, the illusions, yeah, they don't really last long, but as I said, like illusions, clones specifically, will be really spammable. like not the phantasms,
Yeah.
just the clones.
So what you was kind of saying then is that people will actually go and take out the clones. Were you saying
Well,
that?
You don't.
If they take out the clones, then
I
the
think-
Mesmer will be free
yeah.
to just unload with their horrible CC onto them. But if they
the-
try to focus the Mesmer, then it will be the clones that rip them apart. So
Thing
But
is,
there's not only that.
So it's
like,
entirely
they have,
situational.
they have this thing called like their special illusions, the conditions, and if you like a shattering condition, I guess it's
Phantasm.
this is what it
Yeah.
says. Yeah, like
confusion.
if you shatter with diversion, destroys your illusions and stuns nearby foes. So like you can just send your illusions or your phantasms and just like blow them up and just stun everyone. Like you don't need the enemies to kill your illusions for them to stun.
that's why I
Actually-
wonder how controllable they are. Because if you're good enough, can you spawn illusions
Of course,
few
like there's
seconds
this
apart and chain the stun? Or
there's this
is that
one
not
utility
possible?
skill that I've seen that makes you go invisible and leaves an
Yeah.
illusion in your place. So that's going to be pretty awesome.
For the Mesmer?
Yep.
Are you I didn't see that. I saw that he puts like a
It's called
circle on the
decoy.
ground and his team walks in it and
Yeah.
they go invisible.
On the like official ArenaNet page on Guild Wars 2, they have a more complete list of skills, and that utility skill called Decoy was just really awesome.
What
like,
do you think?
if-
What do you think will happen? Like if like that circle I was just talking about, where they all go in the circle. Let's say you're doing, structured PvP, and you're like hiding, waiting at a capture point or whatever, just to kill the enemy players, and you just hide and you wait, and if you attack, I'm assuming it would reveal you. Like if you attack
Yes.
from within
Yes.
the circle.
I think
Yeah.
it would reveal you if you attack from it, and it's not going to last like forever.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
And I'm not entirely sure, like, what the ArenaNet approach to that thing is, like, whether you are actually able to take damage from AoE abilities that land within the circle.
Well, when you get hit by AoEs while in stealth, at least that's the way it was at Gamescom, you would flash reveal yourself, like for a second.
Oh yeah, for a few. Yeah.
And
right.
if you kept taking damage, you would keep being
Mhm.
revealed. So if they see that circle, they can actually visually see it. They just have to plant an AoE in it, and you'll be revealed.
You know what I thought right
they
now?
can see the circle.
Like, the warrior longbow
I'm not
skill,
sure if it can.
there's this barrage that it shoots flaming arrows into an AoE and ignites everything that it hits. That would be extremely useful to get people out of that invisibility thing.
Or
Yeah.
even the warrior utility skill Stomp. Just knock them
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, knock them out of the circle. That's actually really awesome.
What if you have like 4 or 3 Mesmers on your team and they all put like teleport things on the ground next to each other, and you just like
Yeah, how would you be able to tell them apart?
you just like chain walk
Beautiful.
into them and just like kite people. Like LOL, I'm kiting you. You can't do anything.
That would be a pretty rare situation, though, having that. And by the way, about the shattering, it explodes all of the illusions. So if you like have 3 clones on 3 different people, you can stun like 3 people at once in completely different locations. Or you could put 3 clones on the same target, then mind rack it, and then do insane burst damage to that.
Yeah, and you can also put these conditions on them. The mantras, I mean, and like the more.
Yeah, you basically.
The more you put on them, like it can explode, or something, and it's just
No,
like
mantras
stacks.
are it's like you cast. You have a long casting time for the skill, and then it becomes an insta cast.
Oh
and,
right,
like,
right.
Yeah.
Okay, but what about the one where you can stack like stuns and then you can like make it explode into a burst of damage? I've read that just not long ago.
No idea.
Confuse condition. Is that it? Yeah, this skill, this condition
Yeah, that's
stacks in intensity. So the more confusion an enemy has, the greater the damage.
But it's each time they activate a skill, it deals damage.
Okay.
Alright, shall we wrap it up there, guys?
Yeah. Apart from beta,
Right.
beta Friday. Beta
Yep.
Friday.
Beta's announced for Friday.
I am
But
moist.
it's still not open to the public, but they're gradually getting there, guys. Soon we
Okay.
will be able to play the game.
Again, for me.
Yeah.
And thanks for listening to this podcast here with the members of Paradigm Shift. And stay tuned for next time. Don't forget to rate and subscribe and like, and we'll love you forever.
See you
Goodbye,
later,
guys. Until next
Bye.
time.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.